Touching base really quick with the Discord, I want to say we have 2 new roles assigned today to Naza Bazvaz and also Duke Nuke Mate 83. So when the Discord gets a little too busy, I'll start using roles to reduce the chatter. Right now, I like right where it's at. It's so good. SPY on the hourly time frame. Today was a big dump, it really was, and I want to say that we finally found a little resolution, and that is for this downtrend. I'm suggesting that we're going to start a bounce. These are the annotations I left up from yesterday's video, and I decided that I want to take wave 3. I want to end it back here. I want to say this push up to 402 this morning. That would be wave 4. And then that crash we had right in the middle of the day is going to be wave 5. This was essentially what I was trying to get at with these 2 lines coming up from yesterday's close, rejecting off that bearish reversal confirmation level and finding a new low. And I'm going to say that is the completion of minute wave 3. Remember, these when I draw these lines, they aren't going to be right where the price goes. They are conceptualizations. That meaning they're going to be a little weird. I'm going to go ahead and just start correcting some of these. I'm going to say that we've probably seen wave A in a corrective move higher, looking for B and then C. It's possible we're going to make these minuet correction annotations sub-minuet waves, as I do anticipate some fractaling and some sideways grind. So I'm just going to take these lines and move them over a little bit. Maybe I try to capture their time frame better. But at the end of the day, I am expecting a little bit of upside here in SPY to retrace that powerful move we made lower. That third wave did extend, and the price likes to retrace up into the second wave of the wave that extended. So that would put us around 407, I want to say. Not too bad. And then we'll go in for the next leg down. And I think this is where I want to leave this for now. And I'm going to explain why when I open up VIX. We had a measured move up. I did forecast that. We got that. And certainly it is coming down a little bit. This is what I was talking about yesterday. I said we could see a little bit of weakness in VIX coming down as equities begin to correct after that push down. This is certainly fitting that description. Having passed below the peak of the high on February 10th makes me less bullish on VIX because this peak can no longer be wave 1 in a new 5-wave motive wave count unless we're in a third wave extension. That would mean that VIX from here would have to pull up and push higher. VIX could retrace all the way down to 1984 in a third wave extension. I would like to see it push up before then, but it's possible that we're going to go down and test this uptrend before we see more upside. So a bounce in SPY will be a downtrend in VIX. I don't think we'll get to that uptrend, but if we do, I'm expecting it to rebound from that level. Gonna move quickly here. Gotta move quickly. Let's go to Bitcoin. I told someone forever ago that I'd go check out Bitcoin and start sharing it, and I forgot. So here we are. We're in some sort of broadening pattern. It's likely that we saw a nice double bottom, and this is a handle to that double bottom. And it's in a reverse triangle, which is really awkward, but it's very possible that's the case. If the price reverses from this near term, this short downtrend and pushes higher, then I'm going to be very bullish. I don't have a price target yet, but I am working on some analysis. This kind of looks like, can I call it a V bottom up here? I don't know. I'm going to work on that, and we'll touch base later. Let's go to Palantir. I want to say Palantir is dumping, not retracing. If this is a reverse triangle, wave E would likely overthrow the bottom trend line, as it appears to be doing. What I want to show here and draw attention to is this bullish divergence in the RSI, where we have a lower low in the price, but the RSI is making higher valleys. So what am I looking for? Probably a small punch up towards 884. I did have to lower this retracement level a little bit because of this new low we had. Again, maybe it's okay to keep it down at this last low where the RSI divergence starts, and that would kind of put the retracement more towards $9. We after all, didn't get all the way up to these corrective targets up here, but at the same time, this counter trend has been pretty strong. I'm going to extend this trend line from an ascending broadening wedge. You can see the price is bouncing off that level now. If we do get another push below and close below this low, towards 790, then the price target is going to be the beginning of this chart pattern at $6. Right now, I don't have a price target for Palantir, but I am expecting corrective bounce upwards. And that's going to be the theme of this video, is corrective bounce upwards, except in the dollar. I am following a leading diagonal triangle, which is going to look like a rising wedge, which may seem bearish to you, but in wave position A, where the first and fourth waves of the triangle overlap, we get what's called a leading diagonal triangle. It's very important that the waveform, the wave mode, alternates between touch points in the triangle from motive to corrective, from 5 waves to 3 waves. I believe that's what we're observing. And we could see it push up to 105 in the near term to complete that 5th touch point in this triangle. And this is where this analysis is really going to make it or break it, is if the dollar can continue to push up and even overthrow this upper trend line before entering into a larger retracement. I want to point out that there is a bearish divergence in the RSI, lower peaks in the RSI, higher peaks in the dollar quote-unquote price. It's an index, so it's not really a price, but you get it. We had a similar occurrence back in, what was this, last week? February 15th, February 16th, and on the 17th, we had these rising peaks. The first two constituted bearish divergence, and as I was pointing out, when those divergences break, the RSI crosses that line, then the price makes a significant high. Very possible that we're going to have a similar result here, but I'm a little less optimistic about it because it seems like there might be a pattern through the RSI where we have converging trend lines and the price just pushed out below. But of course, at that third touch point, it tends to do that, but the third touch point at the top. So I'm a little hit or miss on the dollar right now, but I'm still going to confidently forecast getting up to 105. Maybe the price, just the dollar, needs to come down a little bit, make contact with that trend line again before it pushes higher. This would support the bounce in the other equities like SPY, Palantir, why not AMC and GME? Let's just go there next. And again, the AMC did retrace, but then it bounced right away. So there was definitely retracement through here, and I'm just going to draw a really quick dirty zigzag. Pretty simple. A, B, C. I anticipate this might be wave X, and we're going to get another 3-wave form for another measured move down, come into contact with the trend line, and then we'll talk about bouncing. Remember, the bulls need to get above $7. Anything below $7 to me is not long-term bullish. It is simply short-term correction, and I would caution about getting too bullish here. After all, the price does appear to be in an ascending broadening wedge. This chart is a little messy, and I apologize for that. I would like to say that I had a price target on AMC, but currently I do not. There's going to be support at $5.50, $6, and we don't get a true bearish or bullish signal until a push above 7 or below $5.38. Not much to say on AMC. It's going to be painful. I think it's going to be a painful sideways grind, and options are going to be hard to trade. Going into GameStop, price pushing lower. I had a potential motive wave count through here. I want to work on this a little bit. I decided that wave 3 would probably end where the RSI first encounters oversold, which happens here today, the 22nd. No, yesterday, the 22nd at around 3 o'clock. And I want to say that this little triangle was a wave 4, and this push down, wave 5, completing our motive wave count. What I expect next is to see this corrective downtrend break. And I know this is the opposite of AMC. Whenever I forecast AMC going up and GameStop going down, one of them is wrong. So AMC is probably going to bounce, which annoys me, of course. Because, let's just be honest, the hype crowd, the hype crowd burns so many people. So many people get burned by that all the time. So what would this look like? An ABC correction higher, and if we can get above the low of the first impulse wave heading down at 2108, this is going to be a bullish reversal line. You're going to notice that it's near that downtrend. I don't know if we're going to get there tomorrow. I don't think so, but if we are going to see more bounces, then, well, it's possible that AMC and GameStop follow alongside. Looking for more upside, resistance at 2073, bullish reversal at 2108. Going into NVIDIA next. NVIDIA had earnings. Yesterday I was doing my analysis, and it was during their earnings call, and price took off, and I just kind of guessed it was earnings. And it was earnings, of course. I don't follow that stuff all the time. I know that Playboy and AMC actually both have earnings on the 28th of this month, so that's going to be coming up next week. I am building a position in Playboy. We'll talk about that in a second. What do I see in NVIDIA? It looks to me as if a horizontal line of support and resistance has been broken to the upside, but it's happening during a corrective trend cycle. The hint I get from the implied volatility is that the price is not going to continue to rally. I really don't think so. And I say that because of this drop in implied volatility. Implied volatility drops during corrections and it rises during motive modes. And this to me doesn't quite look, I don't know if I want to say motive. It's a very strong, very pronounced push higher. The RSI looks like it might be setting up a failure pattern, a head and shoulder top right on that 70 level. Bulkowski does have tips for trading earnings flags, and I'll pull that up on the screen. Surprisingly, his trading tips would suggest only entering when the price breaks above the flagpole. And I think that flagpole is formed by a three-wave, like this weird S. It's like really kind of cool looking. Anyway, moving on from NVIDIA, going into Apple. I want to zoom in here really closely because I know I'm going to need to. There's also bullish divergence in Apple, RSI, higher valleys, but we got lower valleys in the price. So I've got that marked, and it is a triple bullish divergence. Remember, if the RSI breaks this divergence to the downside as the price falls, then the next move down is going to be an extension, and that will be massive. But that's not what we have so far. When price passes above this last peak at 149.72, that's when I'd be confident that this bullish divergence is going to hold and we're going to get a corrective bounce higher. I am looking for those corrective bounces, and I want to say wave A is probably done, and the wave that is now in progress is going to be wave B. This triangle was pretty, or this diamond was pretty short-lived, didn't really produce anything. And what I want to do now is show that, look, we have a reverse triangle. You can do a Bulkowski chart pattern analysis for a broadening bottom, I believe. Again, we're going to be looking for a push above one or below one of these trends. It's going to be a big move. When you get a reverse triangle, price is expanding, so the moves get bigger, more volatile, and everyone gets more frustrated when the reversal doesn't go their way. And that is the nature of corrections. Going to Tesla now. I was expecting this triangle to form, the price to break out to the upside, which, hey, it did. And then it turned around, and until we get a new high, I'm still expecting this to drop. And this is where I'm a little conflicted, because I can see a strong and pronounced bearish continuation like across the markets, and at the same time, I can see a corrective bounce in the short to near term. And that's a little difficult for me because some of these tickers are going to correlate together, like SPY and Tesla and Apple, because Tesla and Apple are big parts of the SPY ETF. If I make a full measured move up on Tesla, I get 205.53. Maybe in pre-market after hours, we correct up that high and then turn around, or just during market hours, Tesla underperforms the market as bounces form elsewhere and SPY rises, preparing for a larger dump in the future. So I'm looking for a higher high or a lower low. But right now, it's just too early to tell. I want to start drawing another triangle, though, right away. And the reason for that is it's possible that this is actually wave A. This entire triangle is wave B. And if it is wave B forming a triangle like that, then wave C is going to be strong, and it'll probably push below this 187 level. And again, this is if we get a dump, but I'm expecting a bounce in a lot of other places. The RSI here did have some bullish divergence, but we've already seen a pop and a rally from there. And that rally has already been sold and retraced to a great degree. So it's a little hit and miss with Tesla right now. It's just a little wild. So that was Bitcoin, SPXU, VIX, PLTR, Dixie, GME, AMC, SPY, NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla, Playboy. Let's go look at Playboy. In a falling wedge. Definitely in a falling wedge. The price is it's getting tight. It's getting tight down here. Not a lot of room to move. So I would expect it to go one way or the other. The RSI continuing to hit lows at that 30. The price setting lower lows. It's technically a bullish divergence. I want to show my trades here. Let's see. Oops, not rollover lines. Trades. You're going to see I entered 100 here, and then right when the price started to drop, I bailed out. So this was a great move, and I am starting to reaccumulate shares now at a lower price. So I want to say that I'm doing a pretty good job here. I'm going to be following Playboy pretty closely. There's some really good news they've had, and I don't want to share it all now. I'll give it its own video later in the future. This has been today's episode. If you are a returning subscriber, give yourself a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.